You cannot heal your kidneys if you still eat these 6 vegetables. When you have kidney disease, many healthy vegetables you eat every day could actually harm your kidneys without you realizing it. The truth is, some veggies that are celebrated as superfoods for the general population can actually stress your kidneys when they're already compromised. Like hanging a heavy backpack to someone already exhausted from climbing mountains. The last thing they need is more weight. Your kidneys are the same. They need gentle, easy-to-process foods, not items that force them to work overtime. In this video, we'll reveal 6 vegetables that people with kidney issues should limit or prepare carefully to avoid putting extra strain on their kidneys. You'll be surprised to learn that some so-called superfoods can actually become your kidneys' worst enemies. Just so you know, everything in this video is carefully researched and put together by real people, double-checked by actual experts, and kept bias-free. 1. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are an excellent source of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to fight cancer. That bright red color might make your pasta sauce look appetizing, but for your struggling kidneys, it's like flashing a warning sign. The issue with tomatoes lies in their potassium content. Just 100 grams of ripe tomatoes can contain up to 237 milligrams of potassium. That might not sound like much to someone with healthy kidneys, but when your kidneys are compromised, potassium becomes your enemy. Instead of excess potassium being excreted through your urine, it gets recirculated in your bloodstream. This leads to hyperkalemia, or elevated blood potassium levels. That's when your heartbeat becomes irregular, your body feels inexplicably tired, and your fingers start tingling. Not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. For individuals with kidney disease, a diet high in potassium can not only worsen the condition, but could also lead to kidney failure. Severe hyperkalemia can cause your heart to beat erratically, even triggering heart attacks. It can be fatal in some cases. For people with kidney disease, tomato consumption depends upon the stage of kidney damage. And it's not just fresh tomatoes you need to watch out for. Tomato sauce, ketchup, and tomato juice can all deliver a stealth potassium punch. That hearty bowl of pasta with marinara sauce might taste like comfort food, but your kidneys are sensing danger with every bite. If you're wondering what to use instead, consider low-potassium alternatives like red bell peppers, apple cider vinegar, or lemon for cooking, or herbs like basil and oregano for flavor. These can give you that Mediterranean zest without overworking your already stressed kidneys. 2. Potatoes. Sweet and white potatoes are like the comfort food everyone reaches for, warm, filling, and versatile. They're rich in essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, making them a superfood for everyone, but except those with kidney issues. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, a regular baked potato has around 610 milligrams of potassium, while a sweet potato of about 5 inches in length can have 438 milligrams. To put that in perspective, for someone on a renal diet limiting potassium to 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams daily, one potato could use up nearly a third of your daily allowance, all before you've even added anything else to your plate. But here's a kitchen hack that might help. Soaking potatoes in water before cooking can help reduce their potassium levels. This process, called leaching, can pull some of the potassium out of the vegetable. Cut your potatoes into small pieces, soak them in warm water. After about an hour, drain the water, then boil the potatoes in fresh water. And don't even get me started on French fries, potato chips, and any processed snack made of potatoes. Not only do they retain much of their potassium, but they're also typically loaded with sodium, another mineral that damaged kidneys struggle to process. It's a double blow your kidneys certainly don't need. High sodium forces your kidneys to work harder to maintain the delicate fluid balance in your body, raising blood pressure and causing excess fluid retention. For someone with kidney disease, this added strain is like asking a limping runner to sprint uphill. It accelerates kidney damage and can lead to dangerous complications like heart failure. And hey, if this feels helpful so far, let us know you're out there by tapping that like button. It tells us to keep making content just like this. 3. Beets. Beets are naturally rich in nitrates that help improve blood flow and lower blood pressure in those with healthy kidneys. However, 1 cup of fresh beets contains 442 milligrams of potassium. Many kidney professionals consider a vegetable to be high in potassium if it contains more than 200 milligrams of potassium, so beets are definitely in the watch-out category for those with kidney concerns. Beet greens are also potassium-rich. 1 cup contains 290 milligrams of potassium. And they don't just stop at potassium. Beet greens, along with rhubarb and Swiss chard, also contain high levels of oxalates. After passing your digestive tract and reaching your kidneys, oxalates can crystallize and form kidney stones, causing intense pain, blood and urine, nausea, vomiting, and kidney damage. But it's not all bad news. If you really like beets and don't want to give them up entirely, you can reduce their potassium content through proper preparation. Similar to potatoes, using the leaching method can help. Peeling and cutting beets into small pieces, then soaking them in water for several hours, changing the water occasionally, before cooking can reduce the potassium content. If you're looking for colorful alternatives to brighten up your plate, consider red bell peppers, small portions of strawberries, or red apples, which are lower in potassium but still provide that visual pop. Your kidneys will appreciate the consideration, and your plate won't lose its appeal. 4. Spinach. We all grew up with images of Popeye eating spinach and immediately bulging with muscles. But if Popeye had kidney problems, he would have probably been on dialysis long ago. Although leafy greens like spinach are praised for their health benefits, their potential risks are often overlooked, especially for kidney health. The main concern with spinach is its incredibly high oxalate content. Eating them often may increase the risk of kidney stones. A serving of 100 grams or half a cup of spinach can pack up to 2350 milligrams of oxalate, which is higher than many other leafy greens. In a study, scientists watched what nearly 240,000 people ate over many years. They found that spinach made up over 40% of these people's total oxalate intake. And if the oxalate issue wasn't enough, spinach is also exceptionally high in potassium. 1 cup of cooked spinach contains approximately 839 milligrams of potassium, nearly half the daily recommended amount for someone with chronic kidney disease who has high potassium levels. When a kidney patient eats too much spinach or potassium, they may suffer from hyperkalemia, a condition damaging their muscle and heart. 5. Avocados. Avocados are creamy, delicious, and undoubtedly healthy with monounsaturated fats, vitamins, and minerals. They've become the darling of the health food world, gracing everything from toast to smoothies. But if you have kidney issues, you might want to watch your avocado intake. The main issue with avocados is they're extremely high in potassium. Guidelines for kidney disease often suggest limiting potassium. People on potassium-restricted diets usually aim for less than 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of potassium per day. An average avocado contains about 975 milligrams of potassium, which is roughly 33 to 48% of this amount. That's like spending nearly half your daily calorie allowance on a single food item. More concerning, despite being full of nutrients, avocados are also high in calories. One fruit can have over 300 calories. So, eating too many avocados can lead to weight gain, a risk factor for kidney disease. Simply put, being overweight puts more strain on your kidneys, making them work harder to remove toxins. If you're absolutely craving that avocado toast, here's a compromise. Enjoy just a quarter of an avocado at a time. This helps you reduce potassium intake while still reaping some nutrient benefits. Another trick is to peel, chop, and soak your avocado in water for 2 hours or boil it. 6. Beans and lentils. Beans and lentils are great sources of plant-based protein, fiber, vitamins, and various minerals. However, this superfood needs to be eaten with caution for people with kidney concerns. Beans and lentils are high in potassium and phosphorus. For example, 1 cup of boiled or cooked pinto beans contains 251 milligrams of phosphorus and 746 milligrams of potassium. When your kidney function declines, phosphorus and potassium can build up in your body, causing damage to your bones, blood vessels, and other organs. However, recent research has revealed something interesting about how our bodies process phosphorus from different sources. It turns out that phosphorus from plant-based foods such as beans, lentils, nuts, and whole grains is actually poorly absorbed. Your body only absorbs about 30 to 50% of the phosphorus in plant foods, compared to 70 to 80% from animal sources or nearly 100% from food additives. That said, the potassium content still remains a concern for many kidney patients. If you want to include beans in your diet, here's a technique that might help. Soak dried beans in water for at least 12 hours, discard the soaking water, which now contains much of the leached potassium, rinse thoroughly, and then cook in fresh water. This process can significantly reduce the potassium content. It's worth noting that canned beans generally have lower potassium levels than dried beans cooked from scratch, as some potassium is lost during the canning process. However, be cautious about added sodium in canned products and look for low sodium or no salt added varieties. Precaution. Now, some veggies sometimes get a bad reputation for kidney disease because they're high in potassium. But let's set the record straight. If you don't have kidney issues, your kidneys will naturally manage any extra minerals, so feel free to enjoy them. Even if you have kidney disease, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Your potassium needs depend on your specific stage of kidney disease. Typically, if you're in the early stages or have had a kidney transplant, there's usually no need to strictly limit potassium. In fact, for those on dialysis, a blood filtering technique, you might even need more potassium. The same principle applies to sodium, phosphorus, and other nutrients that kidney patients are often told to monitor. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Your particular situation matters immensely. This is why working with a doctor and registered dietitian who specializes in kidney health is invaluable. They can create a personalized eating plan that takes into account your specific kidney function, lab values, medications, and other health conditions. And remember, cooking techniques can be powerful tools. Proper preparation methods can significantly reduce the potassium and phosphorus content in many foods, making them more kidney-friendly. This is crucial because beyond just eating healthy, you need to eat a diverse diet to ensure you're getting all necessary nutrients. Conclusion. The level of restriction you need depends entirely on your stage of kidney disease and your individual lab results. What works for one person might not work for another. Kidney health is deeply personal. You can apply techniques like soaking and special cooking methods to reduce the potassium content in some of these foods. This means that with proper preparation, you might be able to enjoy small amounts of these foods occasionally, rather than eliminating them completely. Most importantly, consult with a kidney dietitian to develop a personalized eating plan. They can help you navigate the complex world of renal nutrition and find a balance that supports your kidney health while still allowing you to enjoy your meals. Remember, the goal isn't to create a diet of deprivation, but rather to make informed choices that protect your kidneys while maintaining a good quality of life. Your kidneys are working hard for you. The least you can do is be mindful about what you ask them to process. These 5 common foods are slowly and surely destroying your kidneys. They don't hurt now, but inside, the damage is real. Every single day, millions of people are eating their way toward kidney failure without feeling a thing. If you're over 50, this message could save your kidneys, or even your life. Kidney disease isn't loud. It doesn't scream for attention. It creeps in silently as your kidneys lose more than 80% of their function, before you notice even a single symptom. And the real danger? It often starts with the foods you trust the most. Staples, comforts, the foods that feel safe, the meals and drinks you've shared your whole life. But in reality, they're quietly tearing down your kidneys meal by meal. Over 90% of people with early kidney damage have no idea anything is wrong. In today's video, we'll expose 5 everyday foods that are slowly and surely destroying your kidneys. And when 2 out of 3 are only diagnosed at the late stages, when the kidneys are beyond repair, Slow turns fast, silent, deadly, irreversible. Not to scare you, but to hand you the quiet power of awareness. Stay with us, because just these next few minutes could save your kidneys for the decades to come. 1. Seed oils. Seed oils, including soybean, sunflower, corn, canola, peanut, and cotton seed oils, are silently damaging your kidneys drop by drop. Not because they're oils, but because these particular oils are nothing like what our ancestors ever consumed. When modern seed oil processing came into play around the 1960s, nobody predicted it would become one of the greatest nutritional experiments gone wrong. These oils undergo extreme industrial processing, heated to temperatures that would make your stovetop look like a freezer, bathed in chemical solvents that strip away nutrients, then bleached, deodorized, and altered until they barely resemble anything from nature. And what gets lost in all that processing? The good stuff. Antioxidants. Nutrients. What replaces them? Additives. Preservatives. Chemical flavor enhancers hiding behind innocent-sounding names. These aren't just empty calories. They're active disruptors. They throw your hormones off balance. They set the stage for chronic disease, including chronic kidney disease, or CKD for short. It gets worse when heat enters the picture. Every time you reheat that oil, you're creating aldehydes. They attack kidney tissue directly. They damage the delicate cells lining your blood vessels, the same vessels your kidneys desperately need to filter your blood. Then there's the hidden danger, trans fats. They lurk in many seed oils, especially when heated, and your kidneys absolutely do not want them. Also, these oils are full of omega-6 fatty acids. Don't get me wrong, omega-6 isn't the villain. Your body needs it. The problem is balance. Your body craves a gentle harmony between omega-6 and omega-3 fats, something close to 4-to-1. But the average American? They're running at 20-to-1. That's not balance. That's chaos. And chaos inside your body looks like inflammation. And inflammation, that's the root cause of a whole lot of issues. Kidney disease, arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, you name it. So what's the solution? Unlike with some foods, there's no safer way to consume industrial seed oils. The only rational approach is replacement. Your kidneys will thank you for switching to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, or even modest amounts of grass-fed butter or ghee. These traditional fats contain compounds that actually support kidney health rather than damage it. When shopping, look for cold-pressed, unrefined oils in dark glass bottles. Light and plastic are not your friends. They cause these delicate oils to oxidize faster. Store them away from heat and light, and never heat olive oil past its smoke point. And if you still love dishes that contain seed oils, just remember to cut back on your consumption and begin incorporating omega-3 rich foods into your meals. You don't need to feast on salmon every night. Simple swaps like adding seafoods, algal oil, chia seeds, flax seeds, or walnuts to your diet can do wonders. These little guys are packed with omega-3 and have a much friendlier relationship with your kidneys. Seed oils might seem like the easy choice, but your kidneys deserve better. They're irreplaceable after all, and you don't want to overwork them. 2. Instant noodles. Instant noodles are a classic example of ultra-processed foods, or UPFs for short. They're high in sodium, refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, and chemical additives, while being critically low in fiber, vitamins, and essential minerals. The trade-off? Far from harmless. A 2017 study in Seoul found that eating instant noodles regularly was linked to elevated blood sugar, higher triglycerides, and increased blood pressure, 3 key red flags for kidney damage. Another study from 2022, analyzing nearly 15,000 middle-aged Americans, showed that each additional serving of ultra-processed foods raised the risk of CKD by 5%. In fact, instant noodles contain almost everything your kidneys struggle against: sodium overload, artificial additives, empty starches, and a hidden pile of harmful fats. It's like asking your kidneys to sprint a marathon while carrying bricks. So what's really happening inside your body when you reach for that packet of noodles? The first thing that happens is a flood of salt. When the kidneys aren't working efficiently, they can't clear excess sodium properly. This causes sodium to build up in the blood, pushing up your blood pressure and forcing your kidneys to work even harder. It's a vicious cycle, and one that often spirals downward before symptoms ever show. Then there's phosphorus, another hidden enemy. Instant noodles are packed with the type of phosphorus that doesn't come from natural food. It's industrial, free-floating phosphorus that your body absorbs almost too well. The trouble is, high blood phosphorus silently damages blood vessels, hardens the arteries to your kidneys, and slowly, almost invisibly, pushes the kidneys toward failure. On top of that, hydrogenated oils and chemical additives in instant noodles ignite chronic inflammation and oxidative stress throughout the body. Your kidneys, delicate and sensitive by design, are among the first organs to suffer. The pattern is clear across the globe. In Korea, researchers found that every 6.6% increase in the proportion of UPFs in a person's diet correlated with a 6% higher risk of developing CKD. In short, the more ultra-processed food, the more kidney damage. Some scientists are trying to create healthier alternatives. In Malaysia, researchers have experimented with noodles made from composite flours, including seaweed powder, to cut down on refined wheat and enhance nutritional value. But those options are rare for now, and let's be honest, they aren't lining the supermarket shelves just yet. So, what's the takeaway? For the time being, the safest choice is awareness. Instant noodles might be cheap, tasty, and addictive, but when the hidden cost is your kidney health, it's worth thinking twice before tearing open that next packet of 5 minutes to happiness. 3. Rice. What if I told you that inside your familiar bowl, rice holds 10 times more arsenic, a lethal compound, than many other grains? By the end of this section, we'll show you a simple way to cut this danger by up to 73%, without giving up your favorite comfort food. Here's the deal. Rice naturally soaks up arsenic from its environment. Arsenic is a heavy metal so toxic that long-term exposure can damage your kidneys beyond repair. This isn't the mild, harmless type. It's inorganic arsenic, the most dangerous form, associated with cancer, nerve damage, and yes, kidney failure. At first, the kidneys can cope. A healthy kidney filters out small amounts of arsenic without much trouble. But with constant exposure, the damage adds up. Arsenic causes oxidative stress in your kidneys, damaging the tiny filters that remove waste and the fragile tubules that reabsorb nutrients. Over time, these scars build up silently until CKD takes hold, often without a single warning sign until more than 80% of kidney function is already lost. But not all rice is created equal. Rice from Asia, like basmati and jasmine varieties from Pakistan and India, has some of the lowest arsenic levels, averaging about 70 micrograms per kilogram. But then, there's the American rice. In states like Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana, rice can pack in 2 to 3 times more arsenic. Some samples even tested between 190 and 258 micrograms per kilogram. And it's not just arsenic that's hiding in your rice bowl. Rice is naturally high in phytates, compounds that can block your body from absorbing key minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron. Some types of rice, especially short grain and sticky varieties, are also packed with amylopectin, a starch that causes rapid spikes in blood sugar. Those spikes, day after day, can damage the tiny blood vessels in your kidneys, setting up a perfect storm for disease. It sounds alarming, and it is. But you can still enjoy your favorite bowl of rice without carrying all that hidden risk. First, when shopping, opt for white rice instead of brown rice. This can cut arsenic levels by about half, simply because the outer bran layer, where most of the toxin concentrates, has been removed. Picking the right varieties can slash your exposure even further. Basmati and jasmine rice from Pakistan, India, and even sushi rice grown in California tend to have much lower arsenic levels compared to other varieties. Second, take a second look at the labels on your favorite snacks. Products made with rice flour, rice syrup, or rice-based ingredients, like rice cakes or rice milk, can sneak in extra arsenic without you realizing. And perhaps most importantly, you can change how you cook rice. Washing thoroughly before cooking can greatly cut arsenic levels. But an even better trick is called the pasta method. You boil the rice in a large pot of water, about 6 times more water than rice, until tender, then drain and rinse it just like you would with spaghetti. This can lower inorganic arsenic by 40 to 60%, depending on the type of rice. Want to go further? Researchers at the University of Sheffield developed an even safer method. Start by parboiling the rice for 5 minutes in preheated water, drain it, and then cook it again with fresh water over a low flame until it fully absorbs. Using this method, you can slash arsenic by up to 73% in white rice and 54% in brown rice, without losing too many nutrients. Finally, let's talk about portions. Consumer Reports suggests keeping rice intake to no more than 4.5 servings per week for safer types like sushi rice from California or basmati rice from Pakistan and India. For other types, it's best to limit yourself to just 2 servings a week. And if you're craving some variety, you're in luck. There's no shortage of safer options. Grains like quinoa, millet, amaranth, buckwheat, corn, oats, flax, and teff are naturally low in arsenic while still being gluten-free. They don't just offer safety, they also pack in excellent nutrition. And if rice can hide a danger like that, just wait. What's coming next could be even worse for your kidneys. Curious about the science behind it all? For those interested in the evidence, the studies supporting our claims are provided in the link in our description box. 4. Sugary drinks. Every sip of that sweetened beverage is like a tiny hammer striking your kidneys. Not someday. Not eventually. Right now. That 16-ounce bottle of soda isn't just flavored water. It's 40 to 50 grams of pure sugar hitting your bloodstream all at once. That's more than the CDC's entire daily limit in a single drink, and nearly double what the American Heart Association, AHA, recommends. Your blood sugar doesn't just rise, it rockets. Your kidneys go into overdrive. They're forced to filter excess sugar through those delicate nephrons, the tiny filtering units that keep your blood clean. And over time, this sugar bombardment damages these filters permanently. The science is clear. Sugar in liquid form is far more dangerous than solid sugar. When you eat a cookie, your body processes that sugar somewhat gradually. But drink soda? That sugar hits your bloodstream almost instantly. Your kidneys have no time to adjust. They're suddenly drowning in glucose and desperately trying to filter it out. The consequences go beyond just general kidney strain. A 2013 study following more than 194,000 participants over 8 years found 4,462 new cases of kidney stones. And people who drank the most sugar-sweetened cola had a 23% higher risk compared to those who consumed the least. These stones aren't just painful, they can block urine flow and cause infections that further damage kidney tissue. And no, diet sodas aren't the answer. Despite having zero sugar, they come with their own set of kidney concerns, which we'll explore in our next section. For now, just know that swapping regular soda for diet varieties isn't the kidney-saving solution many hope it to be. It's not just soda. That sweet iced tea from the drive-thru? A 12-ounce serving typically packs 28 grams of sugar, almost as much as soda. Those fancy coffee concoctions? A single flavored latte can contain 50 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 5 chocolate chip cookies through a straw. Your kidneys don't know the difference between a mocha frappe and a milkshake. They only know they're being flooded with more sugar than they were designed to handle. So what can you do today? The simplest answer is often the best. Return to water. Plain, clean, life-giving water. If that sounds too boring, nature offers plenty of kidney-friendly flavor options. A squeeze of lemon or lime, a few cucumber slices, a handful of berries, even a sprig of mint. These natural additions provide flavor without the kidney-damaging sugar spike. For those who need the fizz, plain seltzer or sparkling water can satisfy that craving without the sugar crash. If you're a coffee lover, learn to appreciate it black or with just a splash of milk. Your taste buds will adjust within weeks, and your kidneys will thank you for decades. The benefits of cutting sugary drinks extend far beyond kidney health. You'll likely experience less inflammation, better sleep, clearer thinking, and more stable energy throughout the day. But for your kidneys specifically, removing liquid sugar is one of the most powerful protective steps you can take. 5. Diet drinks. 0 calories. Sugar-free. Diet drinks seem like a way to enjoy sweetness without the consequences. It sounds perfect, too perfect. But let's cut through the marketing. Diet drinks may actually pose kidney risks similar to, or in some cases greater than, their sugar-loaded counterparts. A 2012 study published in Epidemiology examined 932 people, half with newly diagnosed CKD, half without. The shocking finding? Consuming 2 or more diet sodas daily doubled the risk of kidney disease. Not reduced it, not kept it the same, doubled it. The culprits are those artificial sweeteners that make 0 calories possible. Aspartame, saccharin, sucralose, and acetylsulfame potassium, or ACE-K, your kidneys haven't adapted to these lab-created chemicals. Some studies suggest they alter gut bacteria in ways that increase inflammation throughout the body, including in kidney tissue. Large-scale research paints a concerning picture. A 2017 review highlighted that consuming more than 1 serving of diet drinks daily increases high blood pressure risk by 14%, a primary driver of kidney damage. Diabetes risk jumps 38 to 68%, another major cause of kidney failure. Even more alarming, heart attack and stroke risks climb 30 to 43%, and overall mortality increases by about 30%. The cruel irony? Diet beverage marketing often targets people with existing health concerns: diabetics, those with hypertension, Weight Watchers. Precisely those whose kidneys may already be vulnerable. This isn't just about diet sodas. Those pretty bottles of flavored waters, diet iced teas, and 0-calorie sports drinks typically contain the same sweeteners. Even those powder packets to make water more appealing often hide multiple artificial sweeteners. Pure, clean water remains your kidney's best friend. There are ways to add flavor without adding risk. Add a splash of real fruit juice, just enough for flavor without a sugar overload. For those who need sweetness, consider plant-based options like stevia or monk fruit extract in small amounts. While not perfect, they appear to have fewer kidney effects than artificial options. Breaking the habit isn't easy. These products are designed to be mildly addictive. Start by replacing 1 diet drink with water daily, then gradually increase. Your taste buds will adjust, and former diet drink lovers often report that after a few weeks, these drinks feel overwhelmingly sweet or chemical tasting. Conclusion: your everyday choices shape your kidney future. These 5 foods we've discussed aren't random items on a grocery list. Rice with its hidden arsenic. Instant noodles packed with sodium and phosphates. Seed oils silently deliver their unhealthy fats payload. Sugary drinks flood your system with glucose. Diet drinks with chemicals your kidneys were never designed to process. Each appears innocent on your plate or in your glass, some even marketed as health foods. Yet together, they form a powerful alliance against the kidneys. And the solution is rarely about drastic changes. It's about small, consistent adjustments that add up over time. The pasta method for cooking rice. Choosing olive oil instead of seed oils. Reaching for water instead of that afternoon soda. These aren't deprivations. They're investments in a future where your kidneys can keep doing their silent, essential work. Remember, your kidneys don't get a day off. They filter every drop of your blood, 24 hours a day, without breaks, without complaints. They clean approximately 45 gallons of blood daily. That's the equivalent of filling a bathtub twice over. And kidney disease doesn't announce itself with pain or obvious symptoms until more than 80% of function is already gone. By then, it's not about prevention anymore. It's about survival. The most powerful choice you can make today isn't cutting everything out. It's becoming aware. Reading labels, asking questions, making small swaps where you can. Take this knowledge and use it, not out of fear, but out of respect for the incredible organs that have been silently protecting you all along. 8 worst foods that damage your kidneys after 50. Practical tips to avoid them. Did you know that what you ate for breakfast this morning could be affecting your kidney health? As we age, especially after reaching 50, our energy dips in ways it didn't before, and our kidneys become more vulnerable to the everyday foods we eat. Some foods, even ones that might have felt harmless in our younger days, can now quietly add up to cause significant kidney strain. This is where a few small changes in our diets can make a big difference in protecting our kidneys and supporting a better quality of life in our later years. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 8 worst foods for your kidneys after 50. We'll show you exactly how to protect yourself from these foods without making your meal bland. Let's start making more mindful choices to keep your organs working smoothly. 8. Processed meats. That saying, small amounts don't matter, doesn't hold up when it comes to any processed foods. Even tiny portions can harm your health since they're packed with additives and offer little real nutrition, like vitamins or antioxidants. Especially processed meats like bacon, sausages, deli slices, and hot dogs are flavorful and convenient thanks to the additives, but pose a unique set of challenges for anyone, especially those with aging kidneys. Most of these meats are packed with high amounts of sodium to keep them fresh longer and add flavor. When we consume these foods, the sodium load in our bloodstream spikes, which can lead to increased blood pressure and disrupt vascular systems. This forces the kidneys to work harder than usual to balance things out. Also, high blood pressure itself is one of the main causes of kidney damage. Processed meats don't just bring sodium to the table. They also come with saturated fats, nitrites, for example, sodium nitrite is a carcinogenic additive, and phosphorus. For those over 50, when kidney function naturally slows, dealing with these compounds can be especially taxing, adding many layers of stress to your kidneys. To lessen this burden without entirely giving up the savory flavor of cured meats, consider limiting to 1 to 2 servings monthly, 2 ounces per serving, reducing portion sizes, removing visible fat, or opting for fresh protein options like fresh whitefish, home-cooked skinless chicken, legumes, in moderation, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, and mushroom. Try adding smaller portions of processed meats to dishes with fresh vegetables and herbs or spice blends to create a more balanced meal with less sodium. These simple swaps still let you enjoy the flavors you love. 7. Carbonated soft drinks. Carbonated soft drinks are one of the worst types of ultra-processed foods, UPFs. Unlike processed foods, which may simply be cooked, frozen, or canned, UPFs are highly altered products made with industrial techniques and additives like sugar, oils, sodium, potassium, phosphorus, colorings, and protein isolates. All are not good for kidneys. Soft drinks have no real nutritional value, but are full of sugar, or worse, artificial sweeteners, caffeine, phosphorus, sodium or potassium preservatives, and additives. Sugar and caffeine can dehydrate your kidneys, which adds stress and may even lead to kidney injury. The American Heart Association, AHA, recommends a daily limit of 6 teaspoons of sugar for women and 9 for men. A 16-ounce cola can sneak in nearly 12 teaspoons of sugar, far exceeding those limits. Over the past decade, studies have consistently shown that drinking more carbonated beverages increases the risk of kidney disease or faster kidney function decline. A study of 3,003 Americans found that people who consumed the most soda and sweetened fruit drinks had a 61% higher chance of developing CKD than those who drank the least. A 23-year study of over 15,000 people, average age 54, found that compared to people drinking less than a glass of soda a week, those drinking 5 to 7 glasses per week had a 33% higher risk of developing end-stage kidney disease, or ESRD for short. For those drinking more than 7 glasses a week, the risk shot up to 83%. This is partly due to soda's acidity, caused by carbon dioxide and phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is a type of phosphorus your kidneys need to filter out. After 50, kidneys often slow down, making it harder to handle excess phosphorus. This can lead to calcium buildup in your blood vessels or kidneys, which makes blood flow harder, increasing the risk of clots or strokes. Sodas aren't the only ones to be cautious about. Energy and sport drinks, flavored waters, vitamin drinks, slushies, and pre-made smoothies can have similar risks. We recommend avoiding these soft drinks altogether. They come with too many risks for your health. But if you're drinking caffeinated drinks regularly, don't quit them cold turkey as it can cause withdrawal headaches. Cut back slowly. If you enjoy that fizzy sensation, sparkling water, infused with fruits or herbs, is a great substitute. Or else, kombucha's fizz is not only tasty, but also contains probiotics that help turn sugar into beneficial organic acids. Are you enjoying our video so far? If so, please give us some hints by dropping a like, and we'll make more content like this. 6. Fried foods, baked goods, and instant noodles. Crispy fried foods, baked goods, and instant noodles are highly processed foods, UPFs, and contain high amounts of artificial ingredients and unhealthy trans fats and salt, which can raise blood pressure and cholesterol and lead to water retention and force your kidneys to filter out more waste. This is especially risky as kidneys age and become less effective at filtering. Fresh and instant Oriental noodles have 783 milligrams of sodium per serving, and a serving of bakery products, like a slice of bread or 2 to 3 crackers, can have up to 265 milligrams. And frying is particularly risky. When food is fried, water inside it evaporates, and oil seeps in to take its place. This not only makes the food much higher in fat, but the intense heat from frying also changes the food's natural nutrients. The vitamins and antioxidants that protect our cells get damaged. Additionally, frying or baking at high temperatures produces toxic chemicals, some of which have even been linked to cancer, such as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. The kidneys are responsible for clearing AGEs, and excess AGEs can damage kidney structures. AGEs can also build up in the body over time and cause inflammation and damage to the kidneys. Luckily, there are healthier ways to enjoy your favorite crispy foods. Baking, grilling, dry roasting, or air frying whole foods at home lets you get that satisfying crunch without adding the unhealthy fats and salt. You can replace instant noodles with quick, homemade meals like a vegetable stir-fry or whole grain pasta. You can also try healthier noodles like zucchini, rice, shirataki, or bean-based pasta, and make your own broth with herbs for flavor. If you still go for instant noodles, use only 1/4 of the seasoning packet and add kidney-friendly toppings like veggies or mushrooms. Watch out for prepared grocery items, salad toppings, sandwich spreads, microwave meals, and crispy convenience foods. They can be hard on your kidneys. If you're over 50 and your kidneys are healthy, try to limit these foods to once or twice a month. Choose smaller portions, and skip the combo meals and extra sauces. 5. Canned soups and vegetables. Canned soups and vegetables are common pantry staples and are a quick meal option on busy days. However, just like processed meat, canned goods are usually packed with sodium to enhance taste or texture and extend shelf life. For aging kidneys, this sodium content can cause water retention, which increases the workload on your kidneys because they must try to expel the excess sodium and maintain fluid balance. Over time, eating high-sodium foods can disrupt the body's natural blood pressure regulation and put your kidneys and heart at risk. The U.S. dietary guidelines suggest keeping sodium under 2,300 milligrams a day. That's about a teaspoon, or 5 grams, of table salt. But if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or kidney issues, especially as you age, try to stay at 1,500 milligrams or less, which is only about half a teaspoon. Here's some food for thought. Canned peas, even after being drained, can have up to 250 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams, while freshly boiled peas have almost none. Similarly, drained canned sweet corn has 270 milligrams per 100 grams, but fresh corn on the cob has only 1 milligram. In other words, canned veggies, even after draining, can sneak in over 10% of your daily sodium limit. And watch out for canned soups. They contain 700 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium per serving, which is 25 to 50% of your daily limit. So, what can you do to escape the sodium trap? Note that it's not just about avoiding canned foods, it's all processed options. Ready-made soups, broth, or veggies in cartons or glass jars can still have high sodium, just like canned ones. So read food labels carefully. Choose fresh or frozen vegetables, dried beans, or steam fresh vegetable packages. Make sure they don't have added sauces or seasonings. Prepare nourishing aromatic soups from scratch, as they allow you full control over ingredients. Balance out the effects of sodium by including some sources of potassium in your meals. Kidney-friendly options are egg whites, chicken breast, blueberries, pineapple, carrots, bell peppers, and veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. They provide just the right amount of potassium to help manage sodium and blood pressure without overloading your kidneys. This is especially important for those with chronic kidney disease, or CKD for short, or are on a potassium-restricted diet. 4. Instant sauces. Normally, UPFs like instant sauces come with 70 to 100% more phosphorus and potassium than less processed options, which can really strain your kidneys and, if overdone, lead to CKD. Worse still, your body absorbs nearly 100% of these chemicals in UPFs, unlike the lower absorption rates you get from plant-based foods, which range from 20 to 50%, or animal-based ones, which range from 40 to 60%. Other additives and chemicals in UPFs transform the food's texture, flavor, and nutritional profile, making them shelf-stable and tempting, but far less natural and nutritious. These foods are often calorie-packed and addictive. When it comes to instant sauces, most store-bought versions fall into UPFs, which explains why they're so hard to resist. Now you might not realize it, but your favorite sweet sauce or dip could be loaded with sodium. A common serving of pasta, such as tomato or pesto sauce, about half a cup, can have anywhere from 150 to 2,000 milligrams of sodium. And just 2 tablespoons, about 30 grams of Oriental sauces, BBQ sauce, salsa, marinades, ketchup, or gravy can pack up to nearly 2,200 milligrams, while the recommended daily limit is 2,300 milligrams. 3. Hard cheese. More dairy means stronger bones isn't always true for those after 50. You may not notice it, but most store-bought dairy products are types of UPFs. Modern diets with UPFs foods tend to be acid-inducing due to their phosphorus and protein content, and hard cheese is high in both. In fact, it ranks among those most acid-producing foods. Hard cheese like Cantal cheese is much more acidic or acid-forming in the body compared to soft or fresh cheese, such as mozzarella, ricotta, cottage cheese, and cream cheese. This is concerning, as in CKD and aging, a high dietary acid load can lead to acidosis, which means your blood becomes highly acidic or has a low pH. To maintain stable blood pH, the kidneys increase acid excretion, but this can contribute to bone and muscle loss and further kidney function decline. Moreover, most cheeses contain 300 to 450 milligrams of sodium per serving, as salt helps keep moisture and stop bacteria growth. Also, the high amount of calcium and phosphorus in hard cheese can be a strain on the kidneys, especially for those aged 50 and above. As kidneys naturally weaken with age, they may struggle to effectively filter out high amounts of these minerals, causing the buildup of calcium phosphate particles and kidney inflammation. Instead of hard cheese, consider plant-based sources of calcium like kale, broccoli, or fortified soy milk. Lower phosphorus plant-based milks also help protect kidney function while providing essential nutrients. 2. Red and organ meat. A modern Western diet, which tends to be heavy on meat and other animal-based foods, is more acidic than plant-based diets. Red and organ meat products have sulfur amino acids, which produce sulfuric acid in the body, making the blood more acidic and putting extra stress on your kidneys as they work to keep everything balanced. In comparison, fruits and veggies contain much less of these acids and even help neutralize the acid with their organic salts. Also, the proteins from red and organ meat require kidneys to work harder to eliminate waste byproducts created during protein breakdown. This process can add strain and can speed up the loss of kidney function, which can lead to hyperfiltration and CKD. Moreover, Organ meats and red meat are high in cholesterol and saturated fat, which can drive up your blood cholesterol levels. If you're managing heart health or have high cholesterol, opt for leaner muscle meat. Organ and red meats are also high in purines, which can raise uric acid and worsen gout or hyperuricemia. These conditions are common in CKD. 25% have gout, and 60% have high uric acid. A 2018 review found that while red meat raises the risk for gout and hyperuricemia, foods like dairy, certain veggies, like cauliflower, spinach, and lentil, and soy can lower that risk. So you have plenty of healthy alternatives to balance out red and organ meats without worrying about nutrient loss. Purines, found in those foods, are building blocks of DNA and are actually vital for cell growth and repair. Also, try getting more protein from plant-based sources as they are easier on the kidneys. In fact, replacing red meat with other protein sources, especially soy and legumes, reduce the risk of ESRD by up to 62%. Try to eat beans, lentils, tofu, quinoa, and mushrooms a few times a week. Note that organ meats, such as liver and bones, are also used in common foods like sausages, pâtés, spreads, and stock cubes. 1. Foods containing artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners appear in countless processed foods, especially UPFs, from diet sodas to low-calorie sugar-free desserts. They may seem like guilt-free options as they provide no calories or affect blood sugar. However, they can still impact how your body handles sugar, leading to insulin resistance and prediabetes. They mess with your gut bacteria and make sugary foods taste less sweet over time, worsening blood sugar control and even harm your kidneys. If you're over 50, be extra careful. Your metabolism slows down with age, making you more prone to chronic diseases and dehydration. Research has long linked heavy artificial sweetener use to higher risks of heart disease, obesity, kidney problems, and death. A 2024 study published in JAMA Network Open analyzed data from 127,830 participants over about 10 years. It found that consuming more than one serving daily of sugar-sweetened drinks increased CKD risk by 19%, and artificially sweetened drinks increased risk by 26%. Natural juices were not linked to CKD risk, and replacing one daily serving of sweetened drinks with water or natural juice reduced the risk by 7 to 10%. For a healthier alternative, use a modest amount of monk fruit extract, also known as luo han guo fruit extract, a natural sugar alternative that comes with some antioxidants and won't raise your blood sugar. This natural sweetener allows you to satisfy your sugar craving without compromising your kidney health. Better yet, enjoy the natural sweetness of fruits, or whip up your own treats like date paste, banana mash, sweet potato puree, or applesauce. Just remember, even though fruit sugars come with antioxidants and fiber to soften their impact, they're still sugars. Moderation is the way to go. Conclusion: the closer your food is to its natural state, the happier your kidneys will be, and this becomes even more important after 50. However, it's important to note that food processing itself isn't inherently bad. Most foods today are processed to some degree. However, UPFs stand out because their processing significantly alters the original food, often leading to poor nutritional quality. Studies showed that when more than 30% of your total daily calories come from UPFs, your risk of CKD tends to go up. When we start making small changes, whether it's choosing a low-sodium version of your favorite foods, swapping out dark sodas for a kidney-friendly juice, or simply balancing protein intake, you're taking proactive steps that add up over time. You cannot heal your kidneys if you still eat bread and pasta. Your great-grandmother survived on bread and pasta her whole life, living to 95. So why are modern nutritionists claiming these comfort foods are kidney killers? When we brought this up in one of our earlier videos, a lot of people asked the same question. Actually, recent studies reveal that some ingredients in these foods can actually be harmful to your kidneys over time. Some of them can even be toxic if you have kidney disease. Luckily, not every type of bread and pasta is harmful to your kidneys. However, these days, so many types of these wheat products are lining the shelves of bakeries and grocery stores, making it challenging to find the right options for those managing kidney health. We're here to help you select the best options, from the store to your home cooking, and what foods to pair them with. But first, let's uncover the hidden risks behind bread and pasta that can affect your kidneys. Before we dive in, please note, all the information in this video is created by real people, thoroughly fact-checked, unbiased, and reviewed by qualified professionals. 4 reasons why bread and pasta can harm your kidneys. 1. Heavy sodium load. Sodium is a mineral of concern among people with chronic kidney disease, or CKD for short. Those with certain medical conditions, such as CKD, should aim for no more than 1,500 milligrams per day. Eating too much sodium from table salt is strongly linked with high blood pressure, swelling, heart disease, and stroke in both healthy people and those with CKD. Unfortunately, nearly all breads contain salt, with just a few exceptions. In fact, bread is a hidden source of salt and is ranked among the salty 6, the 6 processed foods containing the highest amounts of sodium chloride, or table salt. For example, bagels from Dunkin' Donuts and Panera bread sides go beyond 500 milligrams sodium per serving. On average, breads contain about 450 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams serving. Let's say an average slice weighs about 30 grams. That means you'll get 270 milligrams of sodium from a sandwich with 2 slices from the bread alone. Now let's talk about pasta. Unlike bread, pasta usually doesn't have salt added during processing. Most of the sodium comes from cooking, since we tend to add salt to the water. On top of that, the use of pasta sides, such as ketchup and tomato sauce, further add quite a bit of extra sodium. For example, ready-made tomato sauce contains about 700 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams. A much healthier option is to prepare tomato sauce at home using fresh or plain canned tomatoes, which typically have just 20 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams. To find low-sodium bread and pasta, stay tuned. We'll share some great options later in this video. 2. High phosphorus content. Some breads and pastas can have a lot of phosphorus, giving you 100 to 200 milligrams per 100 grams. That's about the amount in 2 to 5 slices of bread or 1 cup of cooked pasta. Phytates is a type of organic phosphorus found in plant-based foods like bread and pasta. These compounds bind to essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, making it harder for our bodies to absorb them. Over time, this can lead to mineral deficiencies, which is harmful for both healthy people and those with CKD. Along with the natural phosphorus found in phytates, phosphate additives are commonly added into processed bread and pasta to improve their color, texture, and shelf life. Watch for added phosphorus by scanning for the word phosp on the ingredient list, such as sodium phosphate, potassium phosphate, and calcium phosphate. A study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition found that around 57% of bread and baked goods contain phosphorus additives, adding 67 milligrams more phosphorus per 100 grams than additive-free ones. Note that added phosphorus in store-bought bread and pasta is absorbed by the body twice as easily as natural phosphorus. This is concerning, as the daily recommendation for phosphorus is 700 milligrams, and for people with CKD, it's often better to keep it lower. Simply put, in CKD, the kidneys can't clear extra phosphorus from the blood effectively. Too much phosphorus in the blood can gradually increase the risk of bone loss, heart attacks, and death. Also, high phosphorus levels can directly damage kidney cells, which can lead to kidney failure. These problems usually arise in the later stages of kidney disease, but it's always smart to start managing your phosphorus intake early on to take the pressure off your kidneys and avoid complications. That's why it's often recommended to control phosphorus intake even in the early stages of CKD. Are you enjoying our video so far? If so, please give us some hints by dropping a like, and we'll make more content like this. 3. Issues with potassium. Just like phosphorus, potassium intake is also restricted for people with CKD. In these patients, the kidneys can't filter potassium properly. Then, this mineral can build up in the blood to dangerous levels. This condition is known as hyperkalemia, which can cause fatigue, nausea, trouble breathing, heart palpitations, and chest pain. Severe hyperkalemia can increase the risk of heart disease and even sudden death. But do all people with CKD need to cut out potassium from their diets? That's not the case at all. Your body still needs this essential electrolyte to function properly. Interestingly, Having a high potassium intake in the early stages of CKD can actually help slow kidney damage and even support heart health. But as kidney function declines, the risk of hyperkalemia increases. If CKD progresses to stages 3 to 5, it's really important to keep a close eye on potassium levels to prevent hyperkalemia. That's why experts recommend adjusting potassium intake based on individual needs and conditions. Healthy adults need 4.7 grams of potassium daily, while patients with CKD are generally advised to limit their intake to 3 grams per day or less. Bread and pasta are generally seen as low potassium foods, but not all types are equally low. A 100-gram serving, around 2 to 5 slices of bread, can contain 100 to 250 milligrams of potassium, while 100 grams of cooked pasta, which is about 1 cup, provides about 50 to 100 milligrams. This is because potassium additives are widely used in processed bread and pasta to improve texture, preserve freshness, and boost flavor. Some common ones include potassium bromate, potassium sorbate, and potassium chloride. These days, it's worrying that many processed bread and pasta, especially those with reduced sodium content, have extra potassium for flavor and preservation. This type of potassium is completely absorbed by the body, while we only absorb about 50 to 60% of the potassium from whole foods like fruits and vegetables. 4. Oxalate-related concerns. Oxalate, which is found in some types of bread and pasta, is a concern for both those with and without kidney disease. Oxalate is a natural anti-nutrient present in many leafy greens, fruits, nuts, and whole grains. Your body also makes oxalate as a waste product. This anti-nutrient can bind to vital nutrients like calcium and magnesium in your gut, making it harder for your body to absorb them. Our kidneys do an important job of clearing oxalate from the body. Healthy people can tolerate small amounts of oxalate, but those with kidney disease may need to limit their intake. Too high a level of oxalate can worsen any current kidney issues. When the kidneys aren't working as they should, oxalates can build up in the urine, forming stones in other parts of the body. This isn't just a concern for those with CKD. Even healthy kidneys can be affected over time. To prevent kidney stones, experts suggest limiting oxalate intake to under 100 milligrams per day. If you already have kidney stones, it's best to stay below 50 milligrams per day for better management. A study in New Zealand tested different brand products found in the local market. They found that wheat bran flakes topped the list for oxalate content, with 393 milligrams per 100 grams. Rice bran came in second, with 140 milligrams, while oat bran had the least, with only 37 milligrams per 100 grams. These amounts are much higher than the recommended 50 to 100 milligrams. Now that you've got all the facts about the hidden risks of bread and pasta, does that mean you have to give them up completely? It's definitely no. Note that managing CKD through diet means eating less protein, phosphorus, and potassium while still maintaining your energy. Some types of bread and pasta fit perfectly into this plan. So, the key is making smarter choices so you can still enjoy these favorites while keeping your kidneys healthy. And you can totally achieve that by following the ways we'll share right now. What can you do? Whole grain versus refined bread and pasta. While whole grain bread and pasta are often praised for their higher mineral and fiber content, those with kidney disease are better off choosing white flour options. These white bread and pasta go through a milling process that removes the outer bran and germ, leading to a notable decrease in oxalate, potassium, and phosphorus content. This makes them easier on your kidneys. For example, 100 grams of white bread has around 113 milligrams of phosphorus, but the same amount of whole wheat bread has nearly double that at 212 milligrams. The same goes for pasta. Cooked white pasta has about 58 milligrams, while whole grain pasta contains around 126 milligrams of phosphorus per 100 grams. Regarding potassium, a 100-gram serving of whole wheat bread packs about 250 milligrams, while the same amount of white bread has only 117 milligrams. Likewise, 100 grams of cooked whole grain pasta has around 95 milligrams of potassium compared to just 44 milligrams in white flour pasta. However, recently, experts argue that whole grains have their unique upsides. They explain that while whole grains do contain phosphorus and potassium, they're in a form that's harder for the body to absorb than the inorganic versions found in additives. Plus, whole grains help with satiety, digestion, and regular bowel movements, which refined grains simply can't match. Given this evidence, whole grain bread and pasta could still be an option for people with kidney disease, as long as it's in moderation. For example, swapping 2 slices of white bread for 1 slice of whole grain bread can reduce your phosphorus and potassium intake without cutting out whole grains completely. Just make sure to check with your doctor before making any changes to your diet. Shopping tips. Taking a moment to pick the right types of bread and pasta at the grocery store can truly make a difference. Pick freshly prepared bread and pasta from local bakeries. They often have fewer preservatives and additives compared to ready-to-eat or ready-to-cook processed options. Or else look for brands with fewer additives like matzah and manna sprouted breads. Just ensure the bakery provides ingredient transparency. Yes, you need to see a clear ingredient list and review them for the sodium, potassium, and phosphorus content. If you see a nutrition facts label with any nutrients showing a daily value of 20% or more, that means the food is high in those elements. Avoid products with incomplete labels. This is especially important for salt substitutes or low sodium and sodium-free bread. For example, Hostess brands offer sodium-reduced bread options containing 33% less sodium, but the exact amount of sodium per serving can still be high for people with kidney disease. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration classifies low-sodium foods as those with less than 140 milligrams, very low sodium have under 35 milligrams, and sodium-free foods contain less than 5 milligrams per serving. If you're after low-sodium bread, Tuscan and Ezekiel breads are flavorful whole grain choices. Just a heads up, Ezekiel bread has been reported to have around 80 milligrams of phosphorus and 75 milligrams of potassium per slice. If you're watching your potassium intake, here's something important. Those seemingly harmless salt-free options might be a hidden source of potassium. A 2018 study in Canada found that 44% of low-sodium products had more potassium than their regular versions. In fact, potassium levels in these foods ranged from 210 to 1,500 milligrams per 100 grams, meaning a single serving could add up to 50% of the daily potassium limit for people with CKD. Sodium-free, low-potassium bread and pasta are typically harder to find, often sold at health or organic food stores. They are made from whole wheat or sprouted wheat flour, such as manna sprouted breads and matzah. Manna breads come in 9 different varieties, all with less than 10 milligrams of sodium per 2 slices. Matzah is also free from potassium and phosphorus, making it a practical option for those managing these nutrients. Cooking tips. Your best bet is always opt for the least processed foods. By baking your own bread and pasta, you get to choose healthier ingredients and skip the additives. This way, you know exactly what's going into your food. While pasta itself is usually salt-free, many instant and pre-packaged options are loaded with sodium. Watch out for instant noodles, flavored pasta mixes, and canned pasta dishes. When cooked without salt, pasta had less than 5 milligrams of sodium per serving. But when cooked in salted water, the sodium levels ranged from 247 to 490 milligrams. Rinsing after cooking reduced the sodium by 34%, while using double the salt in the water added 243 milligrams of more sodium. So, if you're trying to lower your sodium intake, cook pasta with less salt and rinse it afterward. Make your pasta healthier by creating your own sauce. Replace table salt with herbs, spices, and sodium-free seasonings to keep your sodium intake in check. Try skipping baking soda and baking powder in your recipes since they contain sodium. Instead, you can use natural leavening agents like yeast or sourdough, which are great alternatives. Consider using germinated or fermented whole grain flour. These methods are great for reducing phytates and oxalates, making them especially helpful for those with kidney conditions. Plus, bread and pasta made from these flours taste even better and offer more nutritional benefits. Combination tips. To keep your meals kidney-friendly, Combine bread and pasta with lean proteins from legumes, eggs, or fish, and fresh veggies such as bell peppers and cucumbers. For a sweet twist, top bread with homemade fruit jams like apple, grape, or berries instead of store-bought spreads. Flavor pasta with fresh herbs like basil, oregano, and rosemary. Plus, try different homemade sauce recipes to avoid the high sodium and phosphorus found in pre-packaged ones. These days, you might find bread and pasta enriched with fruit and vegetable powders like banana bread and spinach noodles. These are trendy for their taste and nutritional benefits. But if you're managing CKD, be careful. Breads, biscuits, cupcakes, and pasta enriched with nuts, seeds, leafy greens, or legume powder can be very high in potassium, phosphorus, especially phytates, and oxalates, so enjoy them sparingly. How much bread and pasta should I have daily? Here's a quick guide. Bread and pasta fall under the grains and cereals group, which generally permits 6 to 11 servings daily. While there's no specific guideline just for bread and pasta, your dietitian can help plan your servings. Remember, one serving is a single slice of bread or half a cup of cooked pasta. But for people with CKD, especially in the advanced stages, dietary adjustments for these staples should be made based on your specific needs and clinical symptoms. Be sure to consult your doctor for tailored advice. One key condition to keep in mind is diabetic kidney disease, or DKD for short. This happens when high blood sugar from diabetes damages the blood vessels in your kidneys, making it harder for them to filter out waste and extra fluids. When managing this condition, choosing the right bread and pasta becomes crucial. Many conventional options are high in refined carbs, which can spike blood sugar and stress your kidneys. Look for healthier options made from low glycemic grains like oats, rye, barley, buckwheat, and quinoa. They offer balanced nutrients and steady energy without overwhelming your kidneys. Summary: some types of bread can be great parts of a daily diet for those with kidney disease, offering a steady energy source while keeping protein, phosphorus, and potassium levels low. However, many processed versions of the recent era are packed with additives and excess salt, which can be tough on kidneys. For those with CKD, eating too many of these processed foods can lead to serious issues like bone loss, heart disease, and a higher risk of kidney failure. This really shows how important it is to make informed dietary choices. Homemade or organic options are better, as they usually have fewer harmful additives. While whole grain versions used to be a no-go due to their mineral content, new research shows they can be enjoyed in moderation. To minimize risks, cook at home with fresh ingredients, look for low-sodium products, but be careful with potassium content, rinse pasta, and don't salt the water it's cooked in to cut down on sodium. Instead of salt, sprinkle in some herbs for flavor. Limit bread or pasta enriched with nuts, seeds, leafy greens, or legumes. Plus, fermenting or germinating whole grains can help lower their phytate and oxalate levels. Always check with your kidney specialist for personalized advice and enjoy these delicious staples while keeping your kidney health in check. Now, we want to send a big thank you to all our current subscribers and viewers. Your support inspires us to continue sharing valuable content. Hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications so you never miss a life-saving video. The sooner you spot kidney issues, the more you can do to keep things under control. If you're unsure about your kidney health and haven't been in a good shape recently, check out the video on the screen. Here, we cover all the possible symptoms, helping you spot kidney failure and take action effectively if needed. See you there. Stay informed, stay healthy.